Hi everyone, my name is Richard Maok Riaño Botina, also known as hackerFiscalia on in media and the social networks. Para las personas que se acaban de conectar a este video, yo hablo en español. Este video ya lo hice en español y pueden encontrar el enlace en la descripción de este video. Por el momento lo voy a hacer en inglés. Okay, everyone. So, as I said already, my name is hackerFiscalia, as my nickname, as I am known in the media and also on social media. Right now it's 1:20 a.m. in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. That means in Bogota it's about 4:20 a.m. Today, February 15. So as I mentioned, I already make a video in English and in Spanish. So I decided to do like a video in English since I am in Substack. So I decided to do both versions so people can have their own version as you speak Spanish or English. So let's start. I will share with you my screen and I will show you a public communication, a public announcement that I made already in Spanish, but I will translate now in English. So let's go ahead. So here is the request. So I will read for you. So my request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights was admitted in the case of Mr. Uribe's judge. Attention. The 38th Labor Court of the jurisdiction of Bogota, Colombia, has just admitted a request of protection of fundamental constitutional rights. I filed this request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights against the prosecutor Reinalda Maria Diaz Montiel, who is handling my case related to Judge Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza, who was assigned to the case of Colombian former president and former inmate Álvaro Uribe Vélez. Mrs. Ortiz is advancing on Mr. Uribe's case procedural mechanism through which the criminal process is terminated in advance of the sentence if some of the grounds according with the law are met. The fact that my request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights was admitted means that the Colombian justice system has considered that my request meets all the legal requirements to be studied and analyzed in depth. Let's consider that this action seeks to protect my fundamental rights to due process and freedom of expression that I consider violated by this criminal proceeding that was opened against me. In my request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights are sufficient arguments for the judge to safeguard these fundamental rights under the judicial criteria of objective criticism, considering the documentary and video evidence provided in the corresponding legal action. Additionally, with this admission of the request action, the act of indictment that the prosecutor's office was planning to carry out will be reviewed to determine if it violates the constitutional rights invoked, a situation that could affect the validity of the prosecutor's procedural act. This is the first unobjectionable and conclusive legal fact directly supported by Marcos Javier Cortés Riveros, a judge of the Republic of Colombia, against this criminal activity that I consider abuse of my fundamental rights to due process and freedom of expression. This is a judicial decision. The rest are subjective declarations of the lawyer of Judge Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza, who uses the media related to the government which is ruled by Mr. Uribe's political party, seeking to pressure the justice system, the prosecutor herself, and that has no support from a judge of the Republic of Colombia. In a logic of equality, the media related to the government should give this judicial decision the same diffusion that they gave to the statements of the lawyer of Judge Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza, which of course will not happen, since these media are functional to the interests of Mr. Uribe's political party that in this electoral season has intensified his persecution and harassment against activists, journalists, and anyone who opposes his interest, even in social networks, flagrantly violating freedom of expression. This persecution will be countered with greater activism, with the persevering exercise of public denunciation, and with greater and deeper investigations, and with legal instruments at the national and international level that will make that will make it possible to confront this abuse exercise of power. Public denunciation through social networks is a national and international right that must be protected against any attempt of censorship and harassment by the Colombian state. Now let's have a look the court order that requests the judge in question, Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza, and the attorney in question, Reinalda Maria Diaz Montiel, to answer my questions about their wrongdoings within 2 days. The judge, Marco Javier Cortés Riveros, approved this request for my protection of fundamental constitutional rights. Taking into account the aforementioned secretarial report, the present request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights actions is hereby declared and consequently is ordered. Admit the request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights actions filed by Richard Maok, Riaño, Botina, identified with the citizenship ID 796A4374 against the nation, General Prosecutor's Office of the Nation, or Attorney General's Office. Local Prosecutor 265, Mrs. Reinalda Maria Diaz Montiel. Bind Mrs. Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza to the present constitutional proceeding under the terms of Article 19 of Decree 2591 of 1991. To require under the terms of Article 19 of Decree 2591 of 1991, the defendant, the nation, at Attorney General's Office, 265, Local Prosecutor Mr. Reinalda Diaz Montiel, and the related Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza, so that the term of 2 days from the receipt of the notifications, they may pronounce and render a report of the facts raised in the request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights action by the plaintiff. By the Secretary, communication is released to the defendant indicating that the report to be made should be deemed to be made under the oath, and that if it is not submitted within the term indicated, the facts that are subject to the request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights action should be deemed to be true, in accordance with the provisions of Article 20 of Decree 2591 of 1991, together with the communication, a copy of the introductory libel of the request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights action and his annexes must be sent to the defendant and to the related party so that they may once again pronounce themselves on the facts and circumstances of the request for protection. Be notified and comply by Marcos Javier Cortés Riveros, Judge. Okay, so that's the lecture of that's the reading basically of my request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights that was submitted in this case of Mr. Uribe, Judge. In a nutshell, what happened is I have my YouTube channel, and a follower decided to use my channel as a platform to speak out, and he decided to express using the freedom of expression that he has to basically speak out about the judge Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza, and he said that she was corrupt. The freedom of expression protects that, and more because the judge at this time is like a public figure, it's like a celebrity, because everybody is like putting focus on Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza because she's handling the case of the President Álvaro Uribe Vélez, and formerly inmate. He also has the number. I mean, he was a former inmate, and he is questioned by the law for different wrongdoings. But right now, it's just like basically for fraud against the witnesses. But I think there is more important cases that we have to look at, like drug trafficking charges, paramilitary charges, and also crimes against humanity. But those crimes are never touched in Colombia because, as everybody knows, in Colombia, Álvaro Uribe Vélez basically controls the government behind all the time. And so for the justice, it's impossible to try to put this guy in jail since long time ago. This is not recent. He has committed crimes, and he's has a really strong ties to the 3 massacres in the past. Like the one is called the Aro, the other one is called La Granja, and the other one is called Girardota. So with these massacres, he was involved in those massacres, and he's responsible, and he should be in jail since 1983, when all those wrongdoings happened. So right now that the judge is taking care of the steps to decide if those proceedings are going through or not. So that means if Uribe go to jail or not. So the whole country is paying attention, as if she was the best football play, Like she called attention a lot. So people are really into it. She's in the spotlight right now, that judge. Basically because the whole country really wants Mr. Uribe to be in prison for all the wrongdoings and all the 6,402 assassinations that he made and he ordered while he was in power from 2000 to 2010, 2008. 2010, yeah, exactly. So he was president for 2 periods, and every period is 4 years. So within those periods, basically, he committed several crimes, and again, the role of the judge at this time is to decide if the former president is going to jail or not. So when she decided to say that I committed a crime, basically because I was borrowing my channel to somebody to speak out. So she said that I was doing a wrong thing because I was allowing somebody to speak out against her. But that's basically the nature of the freedom of expression, and that freedom of expression should be protected, because what all Colombians want, we want that we have like a independence with the judges and the prosecutors, that they really have that kind of independence. So we are, like everybody, are supporting the idea that they are really good people and not like a friends of Uribe's or political party, or So for that reason, it's important, and I really want to call attention in this, that the judge, she tries to obviously appear as a good judge, but when I start the legal proceeding where she accused me, I found so many wrongdoings during those hearings. And it's part of the corruption. And it's part of the corruption that we try to figure out if the corruption exists or it doesn't exist. But in this process of the hearings that already happened with the judge and the prosecutor, I found out, for example, she was charging lots of money. So if we were thinking, if the judge is really a good person, I don't think so that judge will charge really way more money than the legal, right? Just charge, legally she can charge maybe 2 million pesos. Basically, it's like maybe $900, something like that. But no, she decided to charge way too much, like maybe more than $7,000, something like that, or $8,000 for this procedure. So she's violating the standards, and she just wants the money. So only in that part is already corrupt. She shouldn't ask for those things. And also she was asking the judge, obviously, for more extensions, and try to basically be very with emphasis, to try to say like, please hurry up, because she's handling like a very important case in Colombia. But who cares? She's not a judge in this situation. She's not a judge. It's just a part. I am one part of the situation. She's another part. She doesn't have the right authority at all to try to influence the Attorney General's office just because she is a judge. No, of course not. she said that she has a really important case. There is a Albert Uribe's case. Well, I mean, in my situation, I have like how many cases where we put down Otoniel, let's say, or of the invisible octopus that we call Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga. I mean, if we are talking about cases, right? Well, I have been doing most of the cases and also as a volunteer. I mean, nobody's paying me for this, only the generosity of the public. But no, I don't belong to any organization. So when the judge tried to put me down, of course, I tried to go with the hearings, and I found all those wrongdoings, and I said, well, this is not right. And then they decide that I have to go to the accusations section of the hearing. Legally, I'm supposed to have a lawyer, but according, I mean, the prosecutor said, yeah, in 20 days, I'll give you a lawyer. And passed so many months, and she never gave me a lawyer. So, and expecting, like, I don't have a lawyer. I mean, like, I don't have a lawyer, of course, at that moment. So, knowing the situations, I mean, of the attorney, that she knows the law, of course, at that level, and the judge, of course, that she knows the law. Knowing those situations, they want me to go, or they want me to go at that moment to the hearing without a lawyer. And they know that that's illegal. And only that fact could throw out the case, because it's illegal to go at that part of the process, or the procedural, the criminal procedure is illegal to go, or it's a wrongdoing to go without an attorney, no? Or a lawyer. So I found so many things related with that, and then I just feel like I need to speak out, and I really need to request the protection of fundamental constitutional rights. That is a legal action that is available in Colombia, and we call that, we have the name of, in Spanish we call tutela, and then obviously if we have tutela, well, the best thing is to use it, right, and to apply it in this situation. So when I see all those wrongdoings, and remember, at the beginning I said that the key point here is to prove that the judge, it doesn't have any ties or any links, any connections with the political party, with Uribe's political party, or even with Álvaro Uribe Vélez, right? Because it should be very independent in order to be clear and to try to judge properly all the legal situations and to give like a real justice for all Colombians, no? And decide what to do with Álvaro Uribe Vélez. If she decide to leave it free in the freedom, or she decide to put him in prison, right? So this is the big question that everybody has in Colombia. What the judge will do at the end with that decision. So she planned, like, we have to speak out together on February 28th, and what she is thinking, like, I will be like a sentence for that reason, and then I will be putting down, and all the media will say bad things about me, that I lack of trust, and that I am a scammer or whatever, or this is like a fraud or something, so just to try to put me down. And then on March 11, she will have the decision, after she put me down, of course, she will have the decision that Uribe is not guilty about anything. So that's what everybody knows, or the whole country knows, that it will happen, that Uribe will be free, will be walking free without any charge. And that's a problem, right? Because we found like there is a connection, some type of connection between the judge and Uribe. And everything is pre-planned, of course, because in Colombia, anyone that speaks out against Uribe is killed. I mean, how many witnesses have been killed in the hands of Uribe? I mean, or for the reason of Uribe, that they are very close witnesses about so many crimes that Uribe commit, and 24 witnesses were killed. One of the main witnesses lives in Montreal, in Quebec, in Canada, and he was he has a threat even in Canada. He was having a threat, and the Attorney General's office at that moment notifying him that he was under danger, basically, an imminent danger, because those threats happen, and also we have information that several prosecutors and detectives were targeted within Canada, within Canadian territory, and that's very serious, because we're talking about, international criminal groups that try to kill and try to not to leave those tails or those evidence around so they can escape easy. In Europe, there is so many paramilitaries, and they have like that passport, like a diplomatic passport. It's like a blue color. And Uribe authorized them to have that passport so they can go and free and go everywhere. Obviously, with the assassination thinking, no? Because that's the purpose of giving those passports, that they can go everywhere in Europe. And now we can see, right? So how the Haitian president was killed, how all the contracts that they have as mercenaries, and they are very famous in the market. It's basically because they have a good preparation in the United States and also in Colombia. And for that reason, obviously, the contractors prefer them other than the other ones in the world, because the Colombian mercenaries are really into it. They really go and they really grab whatever they need to grab in order to catch the guy, or in order to do the operation. They're really brave and they don't care. They just go. For that reason, they got some kind of famous, and they also came into the spotlight for that reason. So when Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza, with the judge, tried to to put me this kind of a second level investigation against me, she's thinking like I should be in jail. That's what she thinks. But I don't want to say she forgot, because she's a judge. She knows the law. She should use a request of protection of fundamental constitutional rights based on if she feel offended because there is something on YouTube. Well, she ordered a quick request of protection of fundamental constitutional rights, and request to delete the video, or just tell YouTube delete it. Probably they will shut down the video. But no, she decided to go into the step number 2, that is more advanced. Let's say there is more process, and she really wanted me to be in jail, basically, because as you guys know, I was the one that in Colombia discovered all the wrongdoings inside the Attorney General's office, inside the police, inside the army, inside the intelligence agency known as DAS, inside the prisons authority known as IMPEC, inside the Supreme Court of Justice, and also inside the Congress. So for that reason, that I knew all those links, all those ties between public officials, very high officials, and illegal armed groups. For that reason is that the current Colombian government, represented also in this public official, Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza, as a judge. Well, I see there is a connection. I can see that. I mean, it's very obvious. When she tried to put me down, she committed a really serious mistake, and it's over the eyes of everyone. I mean, everyone can see it. She tried to put me down. Basically, that's the main goal for her. So she decided to go to hire or to contract all the media through the lawyer to try to put me down and to speak back about me. So she decided to speak out in a media that is very corrupt. Before it was good, but now it's corrupt. That is called Semana, or week. Semana means week in English. And that in that media, the lawyer was telling lies basically about me, and I couldn't have the opportunity to defend myself, right? Because they own the media. I mean, they really can do anything with the media because it belongs to the Uribe's political party, right? He's behind everything. He controls all the strings behind, and the rest are puppets, basically. So she went to the media. She went also to a media that belongs to the basically cousin of the president. But the one person is there, that is the cousin of the president, and also another one that is called Caracol Radio. So when we see all those national media that they are try to tell something grown about me, well, I mean, come on, we are talking about judge. This is not like a other lower level official. No, it's like a judge. And I mean, I can't tell you, it's like unbelievable that a judge can do that they use the media in order to put me down. I mean, it's like in Colombia we don't have like a judicial scenario to try to go and speak out. No, it's not possible, because the judge basically, I mean, she preferred to go in the media to resolve any judicial case and to avoid the legal procedures, right? And that's what she's showing. I mean, if you want to prove that you don't belong to that political party, Uribe's political party, or that you are clean and you don't belong to the system, the last thing that you should do is to speak in those media channels that, of course, belongs to Uribe, right? So, I don't know, people are so obvious and people make so many mistakes. Anyway, so when I present this request for protection of fundamental constitutional rights, I spent my time, and it was like 30 pages. And it's really digital, and I have videos. Of course, I record everything. There is videos about everything, and so let's see what happened. No, so I really feel really thankful with the prosecutor, with the judge Marcos Javier Cortés Rivero, because he's demonstrating that in Colombia it's possible at least to have some justice. I mean, that is not impossible. I mean, he's showing that, you know. He's showing off that it's possible, no, to do justice in Colombia. So I hope that Marcos Javier Cortés Riveros really apply the law and decide this based on the legal procedures, more than the threats that probably he could have right now. Because in Colombia, everybody is protecting Uribe. I mean, the bad guys, of course. The people that are in corruptions, behind contracts, like big contracts, multi-million contracts. And also people that are behind of the emerald industry. Now we have a Julio Lozano Pirateque, that is the replacement basically of alias, the Otoniel Dairo Usuga David. And he is now, obviously he surrendered to justice, and he's supposed to be in the US prison. But again, what happened in Colombia all the time, no? Uribe's friends, that means drug dealers, like a really heavy drug dealers, kingpins, basically. He really betray that friendship that he has with them, right? And he just given to the DEA and to the State Department, and then they end up in prison. They're supposed to be friends, but the president, in order to be cool and be okay and have a goodwill with the United States government, so he decided to betray everyone, and the people are now in jail. Obviously, they are upset because they're supposed to be friends with Uribe, and for that reason, I believe that the State Department, or also the U.S. government, let's talk, has been given some kind of immunity to Álvaro Uribe Vélez, and for that reason, it's like an untouchable guy. Even the International Criminal Court that's supposed to touch him, like in 2007 when I sent my report, they didn't do anything, nothing at all. they even didn't mention him. And people in Colombia have been making like even movies, like there's a movie called Matarife that point several aspects of the criminal life of Álvaro Uribe Vélez, and they have millions of views right now. And but still, Álvaro Uribe Vélez is there. I mean, it's untouchable. And now the judge is trying to decide for a case that is really a low-level case. Okay, it's not really about narco traffic. It's not really about drug trafficking, or really about paramilitarism, like illegal armed groups, the confirmation, or even no process about crimes against humanity, knowing that it's 6,402 homicides, assassinations that he produced, without counting all the missing bodies that the Colombian population found over the rivers in Colombia. So it's a disaster, basically. It's a disaster, and Colombia scored that kind of level of corruption, or that kind of level of evilness. They call really it's like a. I mean, it's really bad. I mean, it's really bad what is happening in Colombia based on Álvaro Uribe Vélez. And almost it's impossible to do anything against him. So right now, the big hope right now is like this judge, Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza, try to put him in jail. I mean, everybody is hoping that, but also at the same time, everybody is aware that those things will never happen. So right now, today, it's 1:49 a.m. of February 15, 2022. And I really assure you that Álvaro Uribe Vélez is not going to jail. All those things are already written, basically. He's not going to jail, period. No matter which judge are there, it's just like a drama, basically, just like a scene that people are making in order to try to put like some cold drops in order to cool down the heat, basically, that is in Colombia. But Uribe is basically the owner of Colombia. I mean, the guy is untouchable, basically. So when all these things happen in Colombia, I discovered those links between paramilitaries and the government, basically. And since then, they don't like me, right? So for that reason, I came into the exile in 2002. But there is lots of bots. I call Uri bots on internet, like fake accounts, and they put me down all the time. They try to say that I am a scammer, that I am a fugitive, and for that reason I should not be believable for the things that I say, or that I create like basically just conspiracy theories, like just things that I make up. No, I mean, in reality, it's not like that. Colombia knows obviously all my investigations, all the effort that we put in, and also because they know that they are trying to hide all those assassinations against attorneys, against prosecutors, and also detectives. And those things are that they want to keep hidden. And anyone talking about that, they just kill it. And I just in 48 hours, I managed to save my life. I left Colombia in 2002, and with the permission of the federal government, the immigration minister, I was allowed to enter to Canada in less than 48 hours. And after that, I have the compromise with the Canadian government to try to continue the investigations, and that was a really important talk that we have with them. So I am here in Canada, try to do my best. And the Canadian authorities, they know that. The RCMP, National Security, the Vancouver Police Department, they know that I'm a detective in Canada, and I'm trying to obviously collaborate with the justice in Colombia. And everybody's happy with that. When I have all these investigations, I went to United Nations, to Geneva, to the palace, and I met people there, important people, and we spoke about those subjects. And also, I went to the International Criminal Court to deliver a USB in person to try to avoid any, wiretapping or interception of data through the internet. Because I have that important information that I have to give to the International Criminal Court, so I decided to go in person. So I went in person, and then I went to United Nations. I was outside Canada for 35 days. Can you imagine? Only doing like this exercise of justice, championing human rights, and try to speak out against the narco state, basically, on behalf of all Colombians that are in Colombia at this time, all Colombians that they don't speak English, all Colombians that don't have the opportunity, or they don't have the credibility or the background that I have that makes me kind of important to go somewhere and speak and be here. Yeah, so that's what happened in Colombia. No? So right now, all Colombians hope that Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza really shows like a judicial independence. We know that it will not happen. It will not happen. But let's see. So far, she has showing us that she belongs, of course, to the system, to the corrupt system, since she is using all the Uribe's political party media channels, media outlets. So in those circumstances, what we can hope I mean, it's really small things that we can help in this situation. Again, right now this is an active judicial case, so let's see how everything is going in this procedure. For now, I hope that the decision of Marcos Javier Cortés Rivero be applied according with the Colombian law, and hopefully everything fall down into a good term, into a good conditions after he decide the best to decide, right? So I think those are the consequences sometimes to go online and to speak out. But also it's important to recognize that there is laws and there is international laws that protects. I mean, this is not the first time that happened to me, all those the situation of censorship. In 2012, the same people, that means Álvaro Uribe and his Attorney General Luis Camilo Sorizaza, they tried to shut me down as well, and they closed my YouTube channel for 20 days. I say 20 days because I recovered my channel. I just complained. I just speak out in Canada. I spoke with the CBC News, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and I told them, these guys they shut down my channel, and I'm in Canada. It's supposed to be here freedom of expression, right? And they agreed with me, and they spoke with YouTube at the moment because Google didn't vote at the moment YouTube, and my account was restored in a few days. But it happened already 20 days, right? But the important thing to recognize there is if we take a look at the emails that they send me, that the YouTube send me at the moment, they say really strict that you are not allowed to possessing, to accessing, or to have any a new YouTube account ever. It's like a really good undoing. So I will never have any more account. I mean, that was very drastic, right? But after I asked for the review, they say no. We just check again your account. We didn't find anything wrong. So we decide to reactivate the account, and they give me like a 1 hour to record videos, because at that moment the maximum time that you are allowed to record is only 15 minutes. So they allow me to record for 1 hour. So that was kind of my award at the moment because anyway I was only 15 minutes. So I did a video, my first video on YouTube. I spent 7 months to do that video, and when I posted, they shut me down. That was really bad. It was 7 months, right? 7 months of work. Even they say, oh, this guy or whoever is behind me, they hired several compositors or editors to do that, because I apply a little bit of After Effects and visual effects. So in the preparation of this video. But no, it was just me. I just rented a microphone, and then I started talking and tried to do the investigation. At the beginning, I thought this investigation, or this compilation of the basically news and whatever saying the radio stations, also in the national news in TV. I was recording some pieces and putting together, and that was it. That's the compilation. I mean, that's a fair use. We can do that. I mean, there is no problem. Everybody do that, and that's not a problem. But because the compilation was really good made, it was a 1 hour and 45 minutes. Obviously, I was thinking it was only 10 minutes, but I extend myself to 1 hour and 45 minutes, and at the end, that was really good, and people like it. But no, the Attorney General, when he was a 6 months, when he was that video was shot 6 days before of his hearing, because he went to the court, of course, and he was so mad for that reason. So he shut me down the video. Anyway, after 19 years of being against the narco state, not because I hate it, no. It's just basically because I was a former detective of the Technical Investigation Unit in Colombia, and that investigation unit in Colombia belongs to the Attorney General's office. So I was a detective. We call a CTI agent, no? Similar to the FBI in the United States. So we do basically investigations across the country, and we give the evidence to prosecutors, and they decide, and then they continue the legal procedure. No? So for that reason, so I was doing the investigations, and And over the time, I have been continuing doing these investigations, and since 2019, when all those applications, those like instant messaging applications like Signal, Telegram, Line, when they show up in the market, everybody use it. I was the one that used as well, because it's very interesting to use that encrypted apps. And everybody feel more confident to try to contact me because it's easy and it's kind of secret, no? And nobody can hear whatever we say. So that was a very key important moment in history, basically, because that's because from that moment, people start talking more, and they really enjoy that freedom to speak out and without being heard. And and they like it. So I had so many sources and informants, and that they really want to tell the wrongdoing, so they're powerful. So I listen to them. I make several videos, and also some another investigators that they want to help with this cause. So we create like a groups, in different countries. So we have a group in Canada, one in Colombia, and one in Italy. So we have been working during all this time, and we really enjoy this because we are doing this in our free time, right? Everybody has their own job, but we really do this because it's our let's say career, right? And we feel like a strong vision to help in the same way that I was helping the Attorney General's office, because I was not the regular employee that as soon as see the time and it is already 5:59, so he just ran home because at 6 p.m. we finish our shift. No, I was not like that. I was staying until 10 p.m. or something like that because I really enjoy my work. But I don't have child, I don't have wife at that moment. So I just decide, why not to continue, right? It's very interesting, and I really want to finish this case. So I was more like putting extra time, right? I don't receive any money to work extra, right? But I really enjoy the place. I have my own office. It was a really good environment, like a work environment. And I was joining the Attorney General's office thinking that this is the best institution in Colombia. But the reality was opposite. It was not the best. It was the worst, because right now it's really corrupt. It's really corrupt. And we discovered with our teams of investigation teams the corruption of the current Attorney General that is called Francisco Barbosa, and also the corruption of the current president. Is not really a president. He is there because the help of the drug traffickers. One is called the Riaño Hernandez, that he was helping, and for that reason he is in power. But right now, all those political party of Uribe's political party, we call it Uribistas or Uribismo, they are really desperate because they are going to lose. Today was like a survey that shows that Gustavo Petro has more than 44% of options to be elected as a president of Colombia. So that means the end of Uribe's political party. He knows already, and they know that they're going to lose. So they are trying to do anything possible to try to create like chaos, to try to put bombs everywhere, to try to show off the country that they can save the country just doing like a self-terrorist attacks. And that's not right. But Uribe's political party is like that, because that's the way that they try to manipulate the government, or basically to manipulate the population. Try to put afraid to the population, make everybody afraid, and then they sell safety. And that's totally wrong. Everybody knows that trick, so nobody is falling down in that silly situation, no? Yeah, so that was in a nutshell. Sometimes I speak more, but I just prefer to leave it like that. So at least you guys know a little bit of context, so what is behind. Yeah, so probably how I feel about this. I feel like I have been, dealing with the situation since 19 years, and seeing now another case with a judge. I don't feel afraid. I don't care that she's a judge. Is that a judge corrupt? I'm not talking with a judge. I'm talking with a criminal, and should be treated like that, as a criminal. It should be like in a court, and the court should be deciding what to do with her, and also with the prosecutor, because we rely on those people in Colombia where we as a Colombians, we really need a strong judicial system. Even the United Nations really emphasize that we have to have independence in the judges and prosecutors, and they are not. I mean, that's really serious, and we really compromise the national security with people like that. So those are the things that we should call the attention. I remember that sometimes the government really abuse of the power that they have. I remember the Minister of Interior, Daniel Palacios, he used to say that in Colombia we have like a strong democracy. He said that in English to a political advisor or in national security in US. And he tried to go together, no? I mean, tried to create that kind of fake news, saying that we have a strong democracy. But in reality, we don't have democracy. In Colombia, during all those years, had been like a over control over the elections. And it's the narco state who really put any president. I mean, they decide. Yeah, I have been in contact with former drug traffickers, and they explain very clear that they do that. That's no secret. And right now it's happening the same. So we have to stop this. We have to stop this. This is the end. There's no way that this continue anymore. And this is not like a tendency of Colombia. This is what is happening in the world right now. As we can see, the world is changing. It's not only Colombia. So all the people in the world, we are looking for peace. We are looking for environmental solutions. And this is like one solution that gives one of so many that gives Gustavo Petro. But Uribe is looking the opposite. He's looking for war. He's looking to create more paramilitary groups to kill more people. And that's not right. Of course, that's not right. So this is the end of the Álvaro Uribe Vélez era. And I think we really deserve to move forward. And I encourage everyone to break the rules, but not the law, because this is the only way that we can move forward. So basically, let's try to think different. Let's try to be more creative. Well, let's not be creative with the law, but let's be creative with the logistics or procedures or project management in Colombia to try to do things better and faster, to try to create like a Colombia more industrialized by Colombians, try to promote the industrialization of the agro, or the industrialization of the agricultural industry. Because Colombia is very powerful, but Colombia needs a little bit of push. No? Really needs like that somebody believe in them. Sometimes I believe like the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank could be the solution for Colombia instead of the World Bank or the IMF, Inter-American Monetary Fund, because those two institutions, they don't borrow money for the infrastructure in the countries. They borrow money to make more in-depth the countries. So that's a problem. But if Colombia belongs to this Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, will be better. I mean, even Canada belongs to them. Even Canada is part of that bank as a member. So why Colombia not? I mean, so that's the big question. So there are so many things that we need to continue. I would like to continue talking in English, of course. All the time I speak in Spanish, but I think it's time to speak out in English. So I encourage everybody to go to my. Since this is another thing that I want to say, I am in Substack right now because the narco state, they decide to block the website of one of our investigators. He's a lawyer and also he's an investigator. It's a really good one. And the narco state, they just shut down the whole website. I mean, the website, we have the website in a Wix account, in a free Wix account. And they just intimidate Wix with a lawyer's corporation. And they just afraid, they say, okay, so we shut down the whole website. I mean, they should shut down only the page that is in problem, if that is the case, right? But no, they shut down the whole website. So basically, shut up, don't talk. That's what they say. So I spoke with Wix, and Wix say no. This is like a final decision. You guys are not allowed to have that website anymore. Okay, fine. I mean, in that situation, my website also will be shut down in any minute. So that's the power of the narco state, of the corrupt lawyers. So, everything is connected. No? So for that reason, I decided just to go myself to have my own website in Substack. Substack is the solution for independent writers, and I encourage everybody to go there. You want to have you in your blog or anything, just go there. So here is my account, it's hackerFiscalia.substack.com. So go there. Right now, since I'm there, I'm trying to encourage everybody to subscribe and subscribe with a free account. I'm putting all my content free right now, but probably in the future we'll put some content that I will be paid. But if you want to support my cause, you can donate $5 a month or $50 a year. That is nothing, but for me it's a lot. Because with that money, we have been doing so many investigations that I have been doing, I've been giving serious results. If you go to my website, hackerFiscalia.com/investigador, here you can see all my background, all the investigations that we did. And you can confirm that we are doing a good job from Canada, from Colombia, and Italy. Yeah, but the Colombian government is not happy with that. But I mean, I really don't care because the most important here is to protect the rights of the population, is to protect the law, basically, the national law in Colombia and also the international law. That's the most important. That's why I signed up to be a detective in Colombia. But right now that I am in the exile, I mean, what else I can do here? I mean, because I really like investigation. That was my career. So it's not fair like one corrupt guy, one narco guy, one paramilitary guy try to put me down and just shout at me or just silence the people killing, like they kill so many investigators and detectives and prosecutors in Colombia. That era stopped already. I mean, I really don't want to go back to that. And I hope that Colombia already is prepared to leave that page behind, and they don't want that anymore. That's why the Uribe's political party is falling down in pieces, and the narco state as well. Thanks to the sources and the obviously investigators that are putting into all the effort to make this happen. So this is the circumstances of the narco state right now. So well, it's already 53 minutes. I will leave the video right now here. Thank you for coming to my website. Thank you for being here, and don't forget to subscribe in hackerFiscalia.substack.com because I know that more censorship will come. I'm pretty sure about that, but I'm ready. I'm ready to overpass anything that come here because I have really great supporters, including the provincial and the federal government of Canada. So I move forward. I move forward with this, and I don't feel afraid or intimidated by any judge or any narco state. I think it's the time to say to all of them, to all narco state and the corruption in Colombia, to stop, no more, stop. Because it's the time. We know already that people were really exposed so many times. There is evidence everywhere. So stop. No more narco state. No more corruption in Colombia. We all Colombians holding our hands. We really need a country with prosperity. We don't really need anymore a country devastated. Right now it's like a state failure. It's like that. It's a state failure because there is no institutions in Colombia that can do the job. Even it's kind of it's similar to the prosecutors institution we call Procuraduría. This institution that is a control government institution, they really also want the freedom of Álvaro Uribe Vélez. Come on, I mean, they really want that. So if they suggest that, of course, the judge will say, the Carmelina Ortiz will approve that freedom for Uribe, and that's ridiculous. That's totally ridiculous. But trust me, for sure will happen. Just wait until March 11, and you will see that Uribe will be in the freedom. Because I know, I mean, the judge have those circumstances. She showed us already to all Colombians how she is. is not only what I say, is what she's showing us. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So don't forget to subscribe here in hackerFiscalia and substack.com. Also, well, you guys have in this situation Discord. I invite you to join the Discord as well. So I promise to create like English channels. Right now it's Spanish, but you can find all the Spanish there, all the articles, and you're welcome to use Google Translate. Right now there is a really excellent tool to translate. So go ahead. And also, you guys know that I have a website. Yeah, it's called hackerFiscalia.com. So please join on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe for the next time, so we can see each other and you will know the reality in Colombia. With all those years that I have been in Canada, I have been discriminated, let's say, because I'm Colombian and because everybody that's what meet me, the first thing that they say is that, oh, Colombian, oh, Pablo Escobar, cocaine, ha 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 ha. I mean, for Colombians, that's kind of an offense, of course, because we feel profile only because we are narcos. No, come on. I mean, Colombians are good people. You just have a few crooked guys that they try to put down the whole country, and that's not right. For that reason, I say this is time to stop. It's time to stop, and that's the big message for the narco state. That's the big message. And I will do everything that is possible on United Nations, because right now I am representative of the civil society in New York, of the NGO called Maok International, that they have a headquarters in Geneva, in Switzerland. So since that position, I will be speaking out, because it's very important that the world know what is happening in Colombia. That's very important, and to try to make some justice in Colombia, I think is really important right now. The International Criminal Court, they give all the cases back basically to the let's say for a special jurisdiction of the justice that we call a HEP, like a GEP. You guys can Google, you can find it. GEP. Sorry, JEP. And you can find it's called Jurisdicción Especial para la Paz. So it's like a peaceful special jurisdiction, or special jurisdiction of peace, for the peace. And they're taking care about those cases that left the International Criminal Court. I hope that they can do a good job, because they have been attacked by the narco state. They try to shut that institution down as well. In the same way that Iván Velázquez, also he was shut down from Guatemala when he tried to put the president down because he was corrupt. So they don't like it, so they kick him out. That's the the end of those anti-corruption ideas, no? But anyway, I mean, I don't give up. It's already 19 years, more than 990 videos that I made already. And I am here, firm with you guys, people that speak Spanish. And right now, again, I will start doing more content in English and also in Spanish. So the same that I do in Spanish, I will translate in English and I will post it on YouTube and also in Substack. In Substack, you guys find the same, the two articles all the time in English and Spanish. Yeah, so feel free to share this information and to spread the word. To spread the word so people know exactly what's happening in Colombia. So yeah, I think it's time to go. It's time. It's already 2:18 a.m. here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. That means like a 3, 4, 5. Already 5:18. We have 3 hours of difference. 5:18 a.m. in Colombia. So for all the Colombians that are right now online, I just want to say hi. I know that probably some people don't understand English, but I already made this video in Spanish, so you guys can find that video, the link on the description of this video. Yeah. So thank you so much for listening, and see you next time. Thank you.